Welcome back to Man Crossing New Horizons. I'm dear darling. Shall we see what's going on the lovely island of Fawnhollow today? Oh, sorry, I was like readjusting how I was sitting. You'd be glad to know in Honkai Star Rail that I've actually managed to beat Memory of Chaos now with floor 12 with 3 stars. Just needed to level up my Ranmei a bit more and, you know, throw my head over a wall. Wait, hold on, that's not how the expression goes. What's the expression where you like do something over and over and over again, but it's like throwing something at something? I can't remember. Anyway, I did that until I could finally defeat the beetle within enough cycles. But anyway, hello everyone. We're now in Fawnhollow. It's 4:12 PM on Friday, December 29th, 2023. I'm asking Mihoyo, please stop putting this beetle in the Memory of Chaos. I don't have a ice, quantum, or imaginary DPS. Anyway, yeah, what should we talk about today? I don't really know. Anything come to mind? Let's see. What's going on the games subreddit? That's of course why I get. Oh, I haven't checked out my gaming queue for like the past 2 days, whatever. I still haven't bought these games yet. I very much should at some point. Just buy the games that I want to play on my wish list. Friendship to the next level. Whoa. Handicrafts. You know, I do like handicrafts. I haven't played it much, but here we go. Okay, so we can go for our Steam queue together. By our Steam queue, I mean my Steam queue. Tectonica? This looks like a Subnautica. It does not look like my sort of game, I would say. Cult of the Lamb. Now this one's interesting. I'm undecided as of right now if Cult of the Lamb is my sort of game or not. I'm not hugely into roguelikes, but I do like the management sort of style and aspect of it. You know, I'm gonna let it cook for a little bit. I'm not sure how. Maybe like another year or something. At some point, I would. It's actually recommended by one of my friends. There you go. It is a good game. I can't tell if it's my sort of game yet. Like, I thought it really, I would like it, but then like I watched some gameplay of it and I was like, I'm not 100% sold yet. I'm not 100% sold yet. But definitely is a game I can see me playing in the future. A Highland Song. This looks like an Edith Finch sort of game. Lacks actual gameplay. I mean, it looks like a narrative game. I'm gonna be. What's going on? Interesting. I don't know. Next in queue. I'm not totally sold by it. This bed we made is a third-person mystery game where you play as a maid in a 1950s hotel and snoop around strangers' rooms to uncover their deadly secrets. That seems like a really cool concept. I'm not totally sold on it, but so I'm going to give it a skip. I skip most of the things which end up in my queue, to be honest, unless it's something I've like already heard of, / already thought about. And you might be like, what's the point of queue? Sometimes you discover cool things. Mind over magic. What's this? A magic school, so it's like a simulator. Game's early access, so I might give it a pass for now. Maybe when it comes out of early access. Oh, it's by Clay. Oh, it's Clay Publishing. It's not developed by Clay. I see. That really did. I think we did Don't Starve and Oxygen Not Included, right? Micro Civilization. Why are so many civilization-based building games? I don't play like any of them. Anode Heart. I'll skip that for now. What is it? It's Frame Makers. It's an indie fighting game, is it? Similar to Rivals of Aether. Funniest game ever. This is just Rivals of Aether, but worse. Okay, that's a bit rude. Well, I suppose you can put these characters into Rivals of Aether now via the modding community. I think Among Us Ready is in there. In fact, one of the Rivals of Aether characters is in here. Oh, Chicory's in here. That's quite cute. Ah, that's really sweet though. I'm not interested in playing it yet, but. Void Crew. There's so many like sci-fi-esque games where all the characters always have the same sort of look with their, you know, the helmets with, I'm not sure black visor is the right word, but like the black like helmet screen or whatever. Obviously the super sci-fi futuristic technological look. I feel like I always get them confused. Like, I don't know if I've seen this game before or if I'm going to get confused with like, I don't know. Or maybe, I was going to say Warframe, but I'm not sure if Warframe's the best example. This one, to be fair, looks much brighter and more neon-y. Than expect. The Blood Line. I'll be honest, does not look like my sort of game. Guilty Gear. Guilty Gear is a game I go back and forth on, like if I'm interested in trying it and if I'm not. Cricket 2024, you are out of your mind. I'm not playing that game. What other games on my wishlist should I add? 50. I think I removed something from my wishlist recently. I don't remember what it was though. Like I've been thinking of removing Spirit of the North from my wishlist. I don't know why it's on here. Like you would have thought I would have bought it by now, but okay, well, we'll deal with that another time. What should we talk about? I don't really know. And we nearly have New Year. Again, we're in these sort of 6 days where nothing really happens. Again, I think my friends are starting to come back from visiting their fam as well, you know. And all that good stuff. Well, actually, to be fair, one of my friends on holiday, so maybe, you know, I'll be playing some games with them later today. It's a weird moment because it's like a holiday time, so it's like, yeah, I want to relax and stuff, but of course everyone's like not going to be home, everyone's spending time with families. It's not like a friend's holiday, it's a family holiday, isn't it? It's a coordinated time where everyone is guaranteed, well, not everyone, a lot of people are guaranteed to be off, but instead of playing games together, like personal Discord servers like had very few people in it, I think, most of the time. But no, things may be different tonight. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. If anything, I feel like I've been playing a lot more my Genshin Impact Star Rail recently, like actually catching up with the updates and that sort of thing. We're doing a bit more simulated universe, etc., etc. It's hard to, because what I like doing the daily process, I suppose, of these games, you know, I'm a weird minority where I like playing a game little and often, but still getting progression for it. I don't have a lot of time to actually like go down, sit down and like do the quests or like these long-standing stories, exploration, etc., etc. But oh well. I don't know what to talk about. Really nothing's coming to mind. I'm trying to think of any like game news came out recently. YouTube, what's been going on? What have I been watching? I don't know what this is. Must have life skills you need to be the ultimate dungeon master in 5e Dungeons and Dragons. That looks like AI art at the front. Mainly because that person's hand is backwards. Ooh, Doodly came out with a new video. I had to watch that at some point. I don't know. I will say I have a small itch to play Lethal Company again, and it's not because I was like, it's not like spurned on by complete nothingness. It's because Northern 9 has now started playing Lethal Company, and watching it is again. It's in the category of games which is I think is very very entertaining to watch and reasonably entertaining to play, but not quite entertaining. Not entertaining to the same level. Me playing, I think probably because it goes into the same similar sort of category as like these indie horror games, which do rely on these like spooky reactions to happen. Of course, I think it lends well to being a streamer-based game because streamers, you know, by nature tend to be a bit more performative, right, with how they act, etc., etc. So, and seeing these wild reactions is part of the flavour of the game. I'm not going to spend the entire time talking about Lethal Company again. I'm going to be perfectly honest. Okay, hard pivot to, let's think about something random. Literally the first thing that came to mind is Kettles, which I have no idea why. You know what was interesting to think about, which I've never really considered before, is how uncommon. I can't remember where I first discovered it, but like it was probably on like some random internet post or something. But how uncommon electric kettles are for in the US. Because I mean, UK has a strong reputation for drinking a lot of tea, which is true. I don't know if actually UK drinks most tea per capita. That can't be right. It must be some. It must be like an Asian country, right? That probably drinks, because I mean, if you think of only like Western tea, like black tea or something, then you're sort of like, or red tea. I forget necessarily what the classifications are, but then you're ignoring things like herbal teas and green teas, etc., which are much more commonly drunk in Asian countries. But I don't know. Let's see. Which country drinks most tea per capita? Turkey. Turkey makes sense. I didn't even think Turkey. A lot of tea drinking in Turkey. Oh, UK's actually third, to be fair, with Ireland being second. Interesting. Sorry about that little bit of a pause. I feel like I was talking about kettles, which is, I'd say probably one of the stranger topics. But did I ever finish a conversation that that out of my mind, where I was just like, in America, that like electric kettles aren't very common. Oh yeah, I was saying like UK. Oh, Turkey ends up drinking most per capita, and UK's third. Okay, that's very well. But electrical commons are very very common in the UK. Electrical kettles are very very common in the UK. You just if you're not familiar with them, they basically sort of plug directly into like electrical outlet on the wall, and then pour water in, switch on, a couple minutes, and then it's done. You got boiling water, perfect for your tea. And it was an interesting shock to find out that, you know, and everything I suppose on the internet is very American central. No, maybe not everything. That's perhaps a bit too much of an exaggeration, but it's no surprise that, especially on English-speaking sites, things tend to be a bit more American-centric. Which I'm not going to complain about, it just is how it is, like things like media tend to be American-centric as well, just because of that's like, I don't know, actually necessarily why it happened. I guess that's where like the biggest explosions of popularity in media happen, but other countries, not say that they don't have their media centers as well. It's just more like exposure to it. I think a lot of people have been exposed to American media, but it's not always the same the other way around. Dependent, of course, on the media property or genre or type. But anyway, what I was saying was, it's like through that, like on social media, I think it probably was through Reddit or something, like with discovery that Americans don't have just like electrical kettles. The actual answer to that is actually the actual like reason for explanation for it is actually a lot more practical, as it tends to I think one of the biggest reasons is the fact that America works at a different voltage with its power grid compared to most other places. Like America works on like 110 volts while UK works on 240 volts through its mains electricity, something like that, which means that if you had like an electrical kettle, like equivalent electrical kettle, yes, it would generate a lot less power and thus take longer to like heat up the water in the first place, because power's current times voltage, right? Or potential difference, whatever you want to technically call it. So P equals IV, and then that's like energy per second essentially. And so lower voltage, like half voltage, means like double the time, well, half the rate, I suppose, of energy generation, or or power, I suppose, in the first place, which makes it like take. I don't know if it's actually 1-to-1. My hunch would tell me it's 1-to-1 because there's all linear relationships of going from voltage to time. But I assume it would like take double the time for it to boil water in the first place or something. Practically, probably even more, because you need to convert that wattage to heat energy, which probably doesn't have a 1-to-1 relationship, I think. But which means that a lot of the times in America, to actually heat up water, as I understand it, is you have a boiler on a stovetop. So I don't know if it's actually true, by the way. Like I've not lived in America, so I don't know how common it is. Maybe electric kettles are very common now. Like they've adapted it to work better. Maybe they're smaller or something, or more efficient. I don't know. But you have a stovetop kettles, which are like camping stove kettles, which are maybe what you think of. You heat on the stovetop. Or you heat you boil the water in the microwave, which, if that's all you have access to, fair enough, and I think some people snobbishly turn up their nose at it, being like, that's not what like a true cup of tea is. But like, if you don't have access to the other, like a proper kettle or anything like that, then like, what are you going to do? And plus, when you're in, it's like, there's no need to be so gatekeeper when someone's like perfectly new, I suppose, into something in the first place, Like, why would I turn my nose up at you wanting to try tea and being like, okay, what do I have available? I'm not going to go out and buy a whole new kettle for this entire thing. I'm going to boil some water in a microwave and maybe buy some tea bags, maybe some like a brand which, maybe people will look down upon in the UK for not having a great flavour. But if that's your first time trying it, then why not? You don't need to go out and buy the most luxury things possible, because you might have it. I mean, to be fair, I suppose there's an argument to be made that you have it and you're like, oh, I don't like this, and when actually you would have liked it if you bought a different brand or something. But I think the argument to be made there is that people are not willing to spend lots of money into a hobby that they don't even know if they're going to be invested in or not, which I think is a totally fair response. Again, I'm sort of like arguing against a straw man here, because I don't think it's a very common viewpoint. But yeah, I'm just saying, if you want to make a cup of tea in America or something, you only got access to a microwave, use a microwave. You don't have to use a kettle. Like, I think it probably tastes better in a kettle compared to a microwave, because I assume the microwave doesn't necessarily heat up the water all that evenly, and you'd have to leave it to rest. Then I suppose it might be a lot more influenced by the container it's in. But again, I'm not really sure. I've never actually done it, to be perfect, before, but you could probably make a fine, like it will be a cup of tea from a microwave, and despite what gatekeepers might want to prevent you from doing so. Of course, if you have a kettle, please do use a kettle. But apparently another thing as well is sometimes they just put like the cup on the stovetop as well and heat up water in it, which again, I'm not going to hate on it or anything. That seems significantly more dangerous to me for some reason. Something about like, I don't think cups are necessarily stove resistant, so I worry that they would like shatter or something, depending on the type of cup you put on top of a stove. I guess I'm just a bit worried about exposing it directly to extreme heat, but what do I know? yeah, it's just sort of interesting to find out. Kettle's not really all that common in the US, which I suppose ends up making sense. Very useful in the UK. You know, you want to like boil some pasta or something, you don't have to wait that long for water to... Well, anytime you need boiling water, I suppose, or cooking, and it doesn't require the water to start from cold, so, you know, everything but mashed potatoes that I can think of off the top of my head. You just, like, put the kettle on, get some boiling water going, put it on the stove top, save tons of time. I don't know if it saves much energy necessarily. It probably does save energy, because I can't imagine having a kettle on for a few minutes, while probably higher in power, probably does not completely offset, like, the cost of a gas stove on for, like, significantly more minutes. I don't actually know. But yeah, I don't know. Kettles. Just surprisingly not all that common in the US. I don't know what other countries also have kettles very frequently. I feel like the stovetop kettles are basically had, like, everywhere. But, like, electric kettles? Like, I keep saying, like, there's a stat I can't remember where I read once, but it was something about, like, during... But if you work in like a power grid in the UK, you got to be mindful of when, like, football games are on. Oh, my pocket's full. Okay, let's drop it. Let's go sell some stuff. When football games are on, because during half-time breaks or whatever, there's actually like a spike in power usage as, you know, everyone goes to put on the kettle, I suppose, to actually oh, lost bag. Everyone goes to. I guess I'll leave it for tomorrow, because I don't know if we have enough time to go hunt out whoever's it belongs to today. I mean, Lily of the Valleys we have now. What was I saying? I forgot. I just completely forgot. Oh yeah, because there's a power spike in electrical usage, I suppose, during half time, because everyone's going to switch on the kettle, which is, you know, wild, I think. How a country could all, you know, unite together, I suppose, over a taste of a beverage like tea. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I do like tea myself. Although, to be fair, I don't drink it all that much anymore. Mainly because it like stains your teeth a lot of the time. Even if you do brush pretty well, it's just something you just like got to deal with. And, you know, I got sick of going to the dentist being like, you know, the teeth are stained, let me clean it because of this. I'm just gonna stop drinking tea. I probably should drink like green teas and stuff instead, because I don't think they stain your teeth. There's also a little bit of caffeine in tea, which I didn't realise. Until, I don't know, maybe I was like my teen years or something. I was like, oh, I guess I technically am drinking a bit of caffeine. Not a lot, mind you. Okay, let's see who it is. Maybe we can very quickly return it to them. Who is it? Whose is it? Okay, that must be Biscuit's. Is Biscuit in his house? I think he's walking out and about, but seeing as his house is right here, it's probably the closest it'll be. Oh, he's in his house. Wait, this is Biscuit's house, right? Not Lily's. Yes. Biscuit's by the waterfall, Lily's by the flowers. Gotta remember that. I should probably put more flowers by Lily's house at some point. Well, I should probably actually finish, like, the decorations of Fawnhollow at some point. But I feel like we're 4 years invested at this point, and I can't be bothered to finish them. Like, I mean, at first it's because, like, when Happy Home in Paradise was released, I was like, okay, I'm not going to do the decoration until they introduce that customization outside into the main game of Animal Crossing, and they never did. I wish they did. I wish they put that in the construction tools or whatever. Like, you could just work on an acre at a time using a Happy Home Paradise customization system. It'd be so much easier. But alas, that's not the case. And I'm going to wrap this episode off here, I suppose. Electric kettles. I don't know, a bit of a strange topic, not very Christmassy anymore, but if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. On likes, comments, subscription, shares, greatly appreciated. Socials, Discord down below. Hope to see each other again, but for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye bye for now.